Hi, Ditte.
Hey, Ned.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. It's Monday, so a little bit difficult to start the week because the weekend was so nice.
Yeah, actually, I had the best weekend too. It was very nice. But I'm still off today. I start work tomorrow, so for me, it's still weekend.
Welcome, Ditte, the founder of the Nordic Bar Method and movement coach. Ditte is a specialist who combines the grace of dance with low impact fitness for recovery. And this is particularly important, especially on early stages of recovery. I hope that today we can explore why no pain, no gain has no place in this recovery situation, and how we can use music and rhythm and gentle choreography, but also very unlikely objects in the house to start moving again to recover our body. This was a little bit long introduction. Let's jump straight to the question. The program that I followed with you online is called Reclaiming Your Body. And this program is focused on gentle, everyday movement for women specifically recovering after breast cancer. I was very grateful that I was able to find this program because everything else was a little bit maybe too strong or, on the contrary, too weak. I found that you really hit the spot for what I needed exactly at this moment. Can you please tell a little bit more about the idea of this program? How did you come up with designing it?
It started many years back when I was managing a small dance and fitness studio in Copenhagen. And we had these courses for women going through cancer treatment. Most of them were breast cancer patients. And they came in once a week in small groups, 5 to 7. And then we had a little tea and a chat, and then we went to the studio and did like a workout. So that could be within the range that I'm teaching, that could be like a dance workout or a bar workout or something even softer if needed. And I think that experience was really powerful for me because, first of all, I saw these women as some of the strongest women I have ever met. Um, and I was very impressed with how they shared the weak, what you would consider maybe like the weaker side, like the struggles they were going through and everything in this open space. And at the same time, also sharing all the positives and all the wins and the community. And it was really a powerful, powerful experience for me as a teacher. And it was heavy some days, but it gave me like a different energy than what I normally experience teaching classes. And I think without even noticing it, because then after that I went on, I moved to Mexico, I did a whole dancing thing, but it kind of stuck with me for all these years. I think also always in the back of my head, I had this feeling that I wanted to do something similar to that again. And then while I was living in Spain, I had a very, very good friend who got diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was really close with her through the first part of her illness. And especially also, I remember one meeting I went with her to the hospital, also because neither her or her husband were Spanish, and their Spanish was not so strong. So I came as a translator and as a support because her husband was, of course, very how you say it, very sensitive about it, and she wanted someone who wouldn't cry and who wouldn't like be too sensitive. So I came with her, and I remember the doctor telling her, and she was a very active girl. Like we met doing pole dance, and like she was a very strong fitness girl. And the doctor was telling her that she should not expect to do any exercise during her treatment, or to be able to, or and of course she proved him wrong. And I know that some people will be able to and some won't, but I believe that everyone should be able to find a way of movement that suits them and that makes them feel joy. And she always talked about that she wanted to help women in the same situation as her. And now, a few years later, I feel like I want to take on that torch, or how you can say it. So, even after this experience, it took me a few years to actually get the guts to create the program and to try it out. Um, because it's a field that I'm not educated within. So I'm not educated healthcare practitioner. Like I'm a dancer. I'm educated within dance and training and ballet, and that is what I know and understand, and that is the way that I think about the body. And I have researched a bit some programs that's out there for people with cancer diagnosis, and they're all great. Like the method is great, the fitness is great, but it's a little bit the same way as I see like my regular classes, is that a lot of it is just, okay, you have to push through, you have to do bicep curls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we change and we do squats for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that can be great for some. But some people like myself need a little bit more motivation, not just do it because I'm telling you to do it, but do it because it makes you feel good and it makes you feel excited. And yeah, so that's where for me it comes a combination with music and breath and understanding your body and kind of connecting with your body in a different way than just a fitness term, but still we get to move and we get to get stronger. And again, like you say, it could be really easy exercises that maybe is everything you can do that day. Like even we had some bed exercises, some kitchen, which I'm sure we're going to talk more about later, but it can also be harder exercises, but everything is very low impact. So there's very little probability of hurting yourself. And then
Yeah.
I tend to talk a lot about the technique as well.
The kitchen stuff is exactly what I wanted to talk with you about, because when I discovered the program, I saw that you're a dancer and a Nordic bar teacher, and I thought to myself, okay, I really want to do this. I'm going through this, but yeah, I'm not like imagining doing these bar exercises at home. So I created this image based on what I've known about this methodology. But then I was very surprised and even relieved to see how you showed this your program in practice, that you would use a lot of objects in the house around us in the kitchen, and how we can use them while waiting for our meal to cook or for the kettle to boil. Okay, so I'm just creating too much intrigue because I know about the program, but now I would like you to describe in your own words what exactly comes into this program. How does it look like? And how do you integrate the environment we live in to move and train with you?
So a big part of the program and the challenge for me was to try to put myself in the mindset of, okay, I have days where I'm really exhausted, and maybe to get told, okay, now go get your things, put your mat on the floor, put your weights, put everything, and you actually have to put yourself in the mindset of, okay, now I'm going to go and do an exercise. And sometimes just to decide to make that move to get ready to go do your exercise can be like a huge challenge. So I wanted to create something that was a bit more accessible. So we have the exercises where you actually make sure you have your space, you have your dumbbell or your elastic, whatever you're going to use, and you get into like a longer section of an exercise. But I also wanted to create something where you could wake up in the morning and you would be like, I'm having a off day, I can't move, I don't want to move, like, but then okay, how can you start out your morning just with a little bit of movement and a little bit of extra energy? And there comes the music again. So like I was imagining that you put on the music and then you do a nice little stretch in bed, and you can actually start your day thinking, okay, I did something for myself. And like naturally you will get a little bit easier in your mind. Like you will become a little bit happy and a little bit more confident because you already did something for you and your body while you were listening to great music. And the same with the kitchen. Like we all at some point during the day go and make a tea or coffee or something to eat. So why not use that time, like the 2-3 minutes it takes to bowl, to like do a little balance exercise. And again, you can just press play, put a nice song. It will last you 2.5 minutes, and you can follow along the video, just a little bit of like lifting your heels, using your kitchen table as a support, and you will already feel that your body did something, and you're gaining a little bit every day. And also it is shown that once you start, and if you really enjoy it, you tend to actually keep on going for a bit longer than you planned. So that was my idea of trying to.
What was the music that you like? Because if you go to a fitness class, you don't always resonate with the music, you just do it. But here you have this liberty of putting your favorite song and enjoy the song plus the benefit for your body. And that's what I found particularly interesting, because I had to enjoy this whole setup, the music, the movement. And I would start with something really simple and then develop it into more complex, or even stay in the pose for a longer time. It gave me so much joy and to my body as well. So I don't know who would not like it.
No, and I think exactly what you say. Like, I think the key is simplicity, because we tend to think that, okay, if I cannot do an hour workout that gives me sweat and that gives me like a racing heartbeat, then it's not worth it. But it is worth it. Like, everything we do is, like, everything I'm teaching, everything I'm doing in my classes or in the course is to support your body's movement throughout the whole day. So everything you need to do for the day, like you need balance, you need some flexibility, you need some strength, some mobility, and even the small things can really help that. Excuse me. So I think I want to teach people not to neglect the small things. I always felt I am a big fan of Bob Fosse, if anyone knows him, and like as a choreographer. And he's the one who made Chicago and Cabaret, and I think the reason he's my favorite choreographer is because it's the philosophy of less is more. So in the Fosse method, you can move a finger and it looks like a million. And I have the same in the fitness, like less is more sometimes. So it's better to move just a little bit and enjoy it than to move a lot once a week.
And this is particularly interesting about this method, and also what hooked me on it. Because typically a fitness training starts with very low intensity, but then it goes into high intensity, and then it goes down again to the warm up. But especially if you are recovering from chemo, your body is already so wrecked. And if you have surgery, so I had mastectomy and I had several mastectomies, 5 or 6 surgeries on the same side. So my left side was always weaker. Like I would only recover and then it goes weaker. And you expect to go like full in on the fitness training. And that was refreshing in your training, that, like you already said, you don't need to do work hard or to do too much, but you need to move properly, and you just need to move and have fun. And when you have fun, your body follows and your mind follows, because it gives to the brain this happiness, um, endorphin, and you go on. The Reclaim Your Body program is based on the Nordic bar method. Many people probably don't know what this method is. Can you please explain in simple words what is this method about, the Nordic bar method, and how it differs from a regular fitness or aerobics program?
Yes, the Nordic bar method is a bar training method that I created. Normally, in a Nordic bar class, you have every range of people. Like, I will have really young ballet girls with older women, with older men, with young men. Like, you have a big range of people, with pregnant, with people who are coming from injuries, and the whole thing about the method is that almost everything is done standing. It's very rare that we go to the floor. And in this way, and everything is very low impact. So we use very light dumbbells. In some cases, we can use a Pilates ball, but it's low impact exercises using a bar. So everyone can participate in where they at physically. At the same time, it's a class that is very much focused on music. My own music is really what made me start dancing and what made me wanted to be something with my body, because I didn't know how to express what music made me feel. So for me, music is really, really important. And every Nordic bar class, you will see that there is a certain way of building up the playlist, and there's a certain vibe to the playlist. So you will always find music that somehow gets people together. That music that everyone kind of knows and everyone likes. Of course, you cannot find a song that everyone in the world loves, but in general, it's music that you can see that combines people, because you have some timeless music out there. So yeah, the music is a great part of the class, and then every teacher gets a class every month, so they can mix and match. But when you go to a Nordic bar class, you know exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the teacher's personality and their perspective of the class, but you know that you're gonna get this kind of music, this kind of vibe, and this kind of exercises. And I've seen that is working really, really well. So yeah, and I wanted to create something like that, but changing it for the program. And I think in my experience, it went really well. I feel like it has. If you know Nordic bar, I feel like the program has the soul of Nordic bar, but then it's split out into different type of videos, and it's smaller sections and smaller videos that everyone can join, and they can pick and choose where they are at that day. If they're into a longer exercise, where you will see a bit more what we do in Nordic bar, or if they're into what we talked about before, like a shorter, more easy exercise. Um, but in the program, we do have floor work though, because floor work is very well for mobility training and for really noticing the technique. So I'm very for floor work, but in a more controlled way than in a fast-paced class.
You put such an emphasis on music, and I have noticed this when I took your classes. So I would like to ask if you would be able to share at least one playlist, maybe with people who are watching this video.
Yeah, I would love to share a playlist.
Okay, so then I will add it in the description box. I enjoyed music, so that was another aspect that put a smile on my face and kind of removed my emotional struggle with movement. Because before that, I was forcing almost myself to do something because I knew I needed. But when you know that you're going to exercise with music that you like, and I can actually relate to what you said, that yes, there is no music that everybody likes, but some rhythms that resonate. And I found that we have similar taste in music, or maybe you just have this gift of choosing music.
I think I have quite a gift of choosing music.
So that's why. Okay, so we
Yeah.
definitely need to add one of your playlists here. What an adventure. We just had a cut in our connection, and now we're reconnecting again. Thank you
Yes.
for your patience with my internet connection.
Of course. That's what happens in online
Life,
business.
life with technology. Well, actually, it's really interesting because we can connect it to our conversation. Like when we're healthy, we're moving, everything works. And then when we are sick, uh, things seem to be a little bit more difficult. And
Yeah.
to your point that you said earlier in the recovery, why stretching and balance and flexibility, all of these things important in the recovery processes?
I think especially if you talk about mobility and stretch, wherein balance is always um, included for me. I think it's really important because naturally, as we grow older, we we lose like flexibility and mobility, joint mobility. And in our normal day, everything we do during a normal day, that can really limit us, and we are in more risk of injuring ourselves. So in that sense, I think it's always a very important thing to work at. And like I think we talked about before, that we tend to kind of forget this step because it can be seen as a more boring part and it's not the one that we're gonna get visual results on. So we're not gonna get a six pack or a big biceps from doing mobility or flexibility training. But we are gonna feel more comfortable in our bodies, and we're gonna have more range of motion. We're gonna have more, yeah, exactly, lower shoulders, more relaxed neck.
Yeah.
But also when you come to strength training, you're gonna have an advantage if you're not limited mobility wise. So you can do
Yeah.
more strength training. You can go deeper in your training if you work on everything as a whole. And at the same time, I feel like there you can connect, and that's coming back to the reconnection with your body. You can connect much better with your body in these kind of trainings, whereas in if we go into a heavy strength training, it might be a bit more, I'm gonna call it robotic without it being so. And normally mobility and stretch training, we kind of have a chance to focus on our breath, to focus a little bit deeper in our bodies. And then going to if you had surgery, I think it is especially important because your body tends to create like a tissue around the area where you had your surgery to protect you, but that can also make, first of all, your muscles weaker, of course, but also your flexibility less, and you're gonna have trouble moving the same way as before. Like you talked about, you have one side that was much weaker, but probably also less mobile than the other side after your surgery. So if you don't work on your mobility, you're always going to be very limited in your movements, and we
Yeah,
don't
when I
want to
was
be limited in anything.
when I was younger, I thought that when you have surgery or injury, you just need to lay down in your bed and don't move until you get completely better. But it's the
Yes.
opposite which is needed. You need to start moving as soon as possible. This is
Yes.
very interesting. Why is it important to recovery to start moving as early as possible?
It's important, I think, both for your body, for your recovery process, but also for your mind, for your mental health. Um, it is important because the longer you lay still, the harder it's gonna get to come back. So the more you're gonna lack mobility, the stiffer you're gonna get, the weaker you're gonna get. I have to say it's important also to know what movements you can do. So don't go straight back to thinking that you can move in the same way as before. For example, if you had surgery in your chest or at your armpit, you're not going to be able to do these kind of movements. Like you need to understand what you can do and what you cannot do, and with or probably very much without any weight. So it's a balance because it's important to start very slow and with a lot of patience and a lot of focus on your body and finding out what is your limits and what is your new limitations, because it's probably very likely different from before. But at the same time, it is a process where you have to reconnect with your body and you have to understand how your body moves now and how both of you can move forward in from your point of view at that moment. Um, So in that sense, it's important to move as quickly as possible. And also for your mental health, I think it's important to keep moving just as much as you can, a little bit, little by little. But with a lot of patience and a lot of love and self-care and knowing that that is okay. That is not a lot.
And it reminds me of your training.
Mm.
So there is this part of the training where you show exercises in bed, like you talked about this earlier. And it was just so nice for me for several mornings in a row to wake up and immediately put the music that I like because you already put me in a positive mood. And then without even moving from my bed in the lying position, I would stretch, I would twist. It's so nice to start the day like this.
Yeah. And I think, of course, it's not, no one wants to have to take this huge step back involuntarily by getting ill or having surgery or treatment. But on the other side, if we can find a way to look at it as a maybe kind of a fresh start to understand your body and take it easy and little by little move with your body and grow with your body and get stronger and get more flexible, because let's be honest, most of us neglect our bodies during our entire lives. Like, we kind of just think it's just there, and we don't have to eat probably, we don't have to exercise it probably, it's just going to be there and carry us through life. And that's just not the case, and not said that it's anyone's fault for the way they live. Everyone can get sick. This is definitely not what I'm saying. But our bodies are doing their very best all the time, but we also have to take care of our bodies. And that is not always by pushing it to the limit, but sometimes it's to take a step back and seeing, okay, this is where we are right now, and this is what I can do from where I am right now, and that's okay.
Very often we see that there are exercises for the upper body and for the lower body. And how important is it to balance both? Or can we just train lower body for mobility without the upper body, or vice versa?
If you ask me, there is no separation between, of course there is, but there is no upper body and lower body. Like, it's all connected. So everything we do, at least in my training, has the whole body included. So again, we can work biceps, but at the same time, we will do something with the legs. We will move the hips. We will like engage the core. We will engage everything that we do is full body workout. And if we go all the way back, we used to move our whole body. So again, this is back to functional training. It is about what we're doing in our everyday life, or what we would like to be doing. Most of us are sedentary most of the day, but what we used to be doing in our everyday life, and we want to complement that in our exercise. So it's a whole body experience, both mobility, balance, strength, stretch. Everything is including the entire body. And we also, since it is bar training, the base of everything I do, and from dance and ballet, I always make sure to talk a lot about long lines in the body and energies in the body. So we always have energy flowing in both directions in everything we do. So I might be doing a stretch for the shoulder, but I still have like energy all the way down through my toes. So every part is engaged, from my fingertips, from my top of my head, my toes, my tailbone. Every movement we do standing, for example, a balance, you're going to feel the connection with the floor. You're going to feel the connection with your chest, with your spine. So everything is a whole. So there is no separation in my world.
If somebody is listening now to this podcast and they want to start moving using uh, your method, so what would be the best place to start, and how to find you
So where to start, with me or in general?
in general for them if they
Yes.
want to try any mobility and flexibility and movement
In
training?
general, it is, I believe we're not going to do anything if we don't somehow enjoy it. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be enjoyable, but you need to find an entrance to any kind of movement that for you makes sense, that kind of energizes you or makes you emotional in some way. So it's harder, it's harder done than said, or easier said than done, I think, as it is in English. But yeah, you need to find the entrance. So if it's, for example, if it's being outside, walking in nature, then you should try to go out and walk. So if you used to run and you can't do that now, then go power walk a little bit. In the program, we also did a walking playlist where I try to shift the tempos. So you have one like really upbeat song, and then it goes down, so you can challenge yourself a little bit, your cardio. If it is to, yeah, like if it's just hard to get out of bed, and actually your favorite moment in the morning is when you're in bed, then try to do a little stretch in bed. There's lots of videos on YouTube, not just mine. Like, I think you can Google or YouTube that, and you will see a few different stretches in bed if you like inspiration. And then again, just to put some music and move. I think we also got very, and very much guilty of that as well. We got so into a picture of how we have to look like when we move that we forgot just to move for pleasure. So maybe find a time in the day, and you don't have to be a dancer. It doesn't have to look good. It doesn't even have to make sense. Just like, again, find a song that really gives you some kind of emotion and just allow your shoulders to move or your neck or just your fingertips, like anything that feels natural. Just allow yourself to move, or you even don't have to use music. You can One exercise I really love doing after each class is to just put my hands on my heart and just listen to my heartbeat with closed eyes. And if you really, really relax and you get into into your breath, into your heartbeat, you will feel that your body is actually always moving a little bit if you allow it. Because naturally we want to be moving because we have so many energies going through our bodies all the time. So try to get into a practice that gives you some kind of emotion and that makes you either feel at ease or makes you laugh or smile at least, or so find something that you think is fun. That's my
And
best advice, because then you're gonna probably stick with it.
then how to find you if somebody wants to work with you.
Yes. So first of all, you can find me on your website, which I'm very excited about, and I definitely think everyone should check it out because it's a beautiful work. And second, you can also find me on the nordicbarmethod.com. And I do have a little page right now. The program is not up. So you cannot do the program yet, but you can put yourself on a wait list. So I know you're
Yes.
interested, and then you will get some emails from me once I decide to run it again. Um, and the program it was a 4-week program. I might do it a bit longer. I might do it a bit shorter. I might do it self-paced. I haven't decided yet, so it depends on. Yeah, I will find out. I might do 2 different courses, but the course is there and it will be out soon. And the course that I did with you and many other women was 4 weeks, and basically every week you would get different kind of video material that you could work on and a little assignment on the side, like for example choosing a song or something that can help you kind of connect with yourself again and taking some time for yourself. And all the videos are made so that you can do them. Again, there would be like a stretch in bed, there would be the kitchen balance, there would be some floor mobility training, then there would be like a full body workout, a small dance workout. So there is a bit for everyone, every level and every like energy need. And then there's lots and lots of good music, and yes, and you can
Yes,
always
music
use me as well.
and movement. So you
Yes.
talked about waitlist for the Reclaim Your Body program, but
Yes.
I know that you have other programs also and other lessons.
I do. On YouTube, also under the Nordic Bar Method, you can find lots of my bar classes. So this is my regular bar classes, the Nordic bar, and then something called Nordic Vertical Bar that if I start talking, it will be a much longer podcast. And this is if you're into like a little bit more of a heavier workout. But there's short videos so you can do different sections and try it out. And for me personally, right now, I'm actually only available on your website, online.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I recommend that
Well,
people go in there.
yes. Well,
Yeah, I just moved back to Denmark, to my home country, and I'm now doing everything presential. So online will come back, but it has to wait a little bit. But if you're in Denmark, please look me up.
yes. So please, yeah, get in touch with Ditte in person when you are in Denmark, or if you are a woman recovering from breast cancer, you can check the program that I created for you specifically, and Ditte gives one of the one-to-one sessions through this program.
Yes.
Other than that, Dita, thank you so much for your time and the
Very nice.
program. I enjoyed it personally a lot. I wish I found it much earlier at the much earlier stage of recovery, but nonetheless, I did it. I discovered something new for myself, like all these movements in bed and more connection to music. So I hope that everybody who has a chance to work with you will experience something similar. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Hope so. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for creating this nice, nice place. I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Thank you,
Um,
Dieter. Bye bye.
wish you all the best.
Bye.
Bye bye.